big men, PG and Amari. What have you seen out of these two guys in these last few months?
A ton of growth. Amari's presence down low. I know you guys know he was Defensive Player of the Year in his conference, but I think he's taking huge strides in that area. And then also just offensive and defensive rebounding. Those are two areas we're going to need them a lot in, especially in a big physical league like the SEC. So, I've loved what I've seen so far.
Yeah, and Amari obviously kind of moving up in conference, and you've been in the SEC before. How do you feel like he'll adjust to that?
I think it'll be just fine. We have great players on our team, and we battle it out every day in practice. So I think he's getting great reps right now, and it's just a matter of getting it in front of a crowd.
And then the passing aspect of it, what have you seen out of both of those guys? That kind of unique role that he does.
Amari can pass the rock. There's a lot of passes that I don't think a lot of guards can make that he makes. So, he's almost like our point guard, our second point guard. So it's been amazing just to see his progress throughout the summer and leading up to this year.
And then, how much fun is it to play in a system like that? You obviously got to play with Ali Khalifa last season. Mm-hmm. Very unique passer for a big man.
Yeah.
What does that kind of do for you as a player?
It gives everybody confidence. Just to know that your big man's so unselfish and is looking to pass the rock, and not only the big man, but the rest of your teammates. It's just unselfish offense. That's how Coach Pope does it, and it just gives everybody confidence.
I covered you at Arkansas. You look a lot different now. You were classified, so I think, were you 17?
I was 17, yeah.
So now you're obviously bigger, stronger, older, all that. How different are you than the guy that was at A&M in Arkansas? How different a player are you now, physically, mentally, and everywhere?
Way different. Like you said, it's been some years, so it's a lot of experience, a lot of growth that's happened since then. That's all you can hope for as a player. And Coach Pope gave me the opportunity to get out on the floor my junior year, and since then it's took off. So, I can't thank him enough.
What was that year at Arkansas? I know it didn't go as well as you hoped, and it was going well for you at BYU. What was that year like? Was there some things you learned that you could take with you or help you out?
At Arkansas? I think it was just a good experience for me, just being around a whole bunch of pros. I still talk to all those teammates. We're still really close. I just felt like I took a lot of knowledge from them that I just carried on, still to this day. So just taking it as a process, my sophomore year was just a lot of learning for me, and just taking it to BYU and using it there.
When you're at BYU, you're in the Big 12. I almost said the Big 8. Did you ever think you'd be back in the SEC?
To be honest, no. But here I am, so I'm excited to get out there and play and compete against other teams.
As the only voice on the team that has played for Coach Pope before, how do you see your impact as a leader and your role as a leader?
That's the role that I've been trying to step into since I stepped foot on campus. Because like you said, I'm the only person that's came with Coach Pope, so just making sure I'm doing my job by, bringing everybody along with me and just letting everybody figure out the system. So whenever guys need my help or they have questions, they usually come to me, and I just try to be the voice.
Where have you seen this team improve maybe from fourth week of, or early in those summer practices to right now, the most?
I'd probably say our conditioning. We love to play fast pace, get up and down the court, fly around on defense, be disruptive. So, just getting used to that and getting in shape has probably been the best thing for us over the summer.
And then what's the biggest challenge? Obviously, a little less than 3 weeks now until the first regular season game. What's the biggest challenge left for this team from now to then?
Right now we're working on our transition defense. We think that's a big area that can help us early on in the season. Coach AB always talks about early in the season, a lot of teams don't have sets. They're still trying to figure things out, and easy buckets come through transition. So just being able to stop that and make it a half-court game is probably just the biggest thing that we're focused on defensively.
What are the challenges of doing that, of actually being able to slow down a team in transition?
I would say it's mostly just effort and communication. Just being able to fly around and make quick decisions, be able to communicate with your teammates on the fly, and just pick up your man in transition.
Is it more difficult to play good transition defense the way you guys play offensively, or is it easier because you're already kind of flying around?
Yeah, I would say, I don't really have an answer to that. I think it just that's how basketball's played. So just doing what you can.
Jaxson, I think when you were at Arkansas, you were known as a three-point shooter. When you're watching you play some, it looks like you've really become an all-around player. How would you describe your game, and how do you think you've evolved since then?
Just being more comfortable out on the court. Just taking the time to, like you said, work on my game in the off-season, the unseen hours that people don't see, and just putting in the work. And then just being able to go out there and be comfortable with what I'm doing and trusting the work that I put in.
Obviously, it's been mentioned earlier, like I was playing for Coach Pope, but to have a guy like Lamont who's played for a national championship in the past, just how much of a benefit has it been to have a guy like you?
It's been great. Mont's a winner. That's all he cares about. There's no ego with that kid. So, I mean, just having a point guard like that, it's amazing. And like you said, he was in the Final Four, so that's exactly what we're trying to get to. So all the experience we can get is it's great.
What did you think about his original song?
We had heard it before it had played, but we listened to like his songs. He has a whole bunch of unreleased songs that he hasn't dropped, but we listened to it during workouts and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool just to see that he has other hobbies outside of basketball that he's passionate about.
Did you all have any input on the song? You or any of the teammates or anything?
Nah. He put it together. I'm pretty sure he put it together like 2 or 3 days before Big Blue Madness too. So I mean, it's pretty impressive that he can do that.
Do you dabble in any of that?
Nah, nah, not at all.
Arkansas and Kentucky have always been like a big rivalry in basketball. I'm sure you remember being at Arkansas and the excitement of playing Kentucky. What do you make of how you're now kind of a central figure in this rivalry and with Coach Pope and Calipari? Like, how exciting is that?
I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about winning the championship, winning SEC championship, and then just also my individual accolades. I'm not getting caught up in all the rivalry and all that stuff. I'm just focused on winning.
Jaxson, I know that.
You said you still stay in touch with Arkansas guys. Anybody that you're especially close to from that group?
JD, Stan, J. Will, Chris, Chance, all of them, honestly.
Jaxson, I was going to ask, I know obviously the core system of what Coach Pope, Coach Figure brought from BYU is the same, but since you've been here, have you noticed if they introduced any kind of wrinkles? You're like, whoa, we weren't doing that when I was at BYU.
Yeah, I think we have. There's a couple of wrinkles that we made offensively. I think just because of the growth that we made in terms of who we've brought to this team. We have like other guys that we didn't have at BYU that could do different stuff. So like Andrew Carr, for example, his mid-post game, it's crazy to watch. So just like small stuff, just trying to get him open in the post and finding ways for Amari to be effective on the block. It's been really good and cool to see just like the transition that we made from BYU to here.
Oklahoma joining the league this year and you growing up there, did you grow up an Oklahoma fan or did you not really have any fan allegiance as a kid?
I never really grew up an Oklahoma or Oklahoma State fan, but if I had to choose, I'd probably say the Sooners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ada is where you're from. That's where like Blake Shelton is from. Do you have a favorite Blake Shelton from?
Nah.
That's fine.
Nah.
Could you explain the emphasis or the importance of cutting off the ball in Coach Pope's offense?
Yeah, it's huge. Cutting opens everything up. He emphasizes playing off 2 feet, and then just whenever your man loses sight of the ball, just to make sure that you're cutting. It gets all your teammates open. So, it's a huge part of our offense.
How has this group kind of taken to that over these last few months, maybe compared to previous teams?
I think it's been good. This group, especially compared to my last 2 teams, has picked up like Coach Pope's stuff really fast. So I think we're growing at a really fast pace. I think we're way ahead of where we were last year at this point in the season. So I'm just excited to get out there and play other teams.
What can you learn from doing that, from playing against somebody other than yourselves that you can't learn at the Craft Center?
I think it's just a different environment, honestly. You got the crowd, you got all the noise, just a lot of distractions. So I think it would be good for guys like our rookies like Trent, Colin, Trav, all those guys. It'll be good for them to just be out in front of a crowd and just be able to compete. And I'm also tired of having Lamont Butler guard me every day in practice, 94 feet, so I'm excited.
Jaxson, that's the first time we've talked to you since Big Blue Madness. What were your thoughts just on that whole night?
It's been great. It was great. Just seeing like the full experience, seeing Rupp just packed out. Coach Pope always talked about, like, we never really know what it's like till we step foot in front of a packed Reed Arena. So just experiencing that for the first time. My family was there. That was the first time they were in Lexington. So it was just a really cool experience for me.
And how about at the end where they brought out so many of the living members of all these national title teams? We're constantly hearing you guys talk about number 9, getting to see members of the first 8 who are still around.
Yeah, it was cool just to see all the history. They brought out the trophies too. I hadn't really seen the trophies in person, so it was really dope to see. But they didn't tell us that was happening, so I mean, it was a surprise for us also. So it was just really cool.
What should people know about Coach Pope?
My people?
What should people know about Kentucky fans and people who follow the team?
He's just a great person. I mean, he's a great coach, obviously. X's and O's and just building relationships with his players. But, like, at the end of the day, he's a great person, someone I can lean on. And, I mean, I got a friend for life, regardless of if I play basketball or not.
What do you think about his jacket?
The one he's wearing today?
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice. He was wearing it, I think, a couple days ago, but I like it. I wish I had one.
Having been at BYU, making the transition to the Big 12, what was that kind of like, and how do you think maybe that can help your adjustment, readjustment back to the SEC?
To be honest, I don't think my confidence has changed from Big 12 to SEC. It's all the same to me, especially at this point in my college career. I'm just ready to hoop. Doesn't matter what team you throw out in front of me, I'm just ready to go out and kill. So I'm just excited, like I said, get out there and play somebody else.
Obviously with Pope, he was probably the main reason you decided to come here, but obviously Coach Fieger too, you learned under there at BYU. From your perspective, how does he impact the offense, the system, and how big of a factor was he in you wanting to come to Kentucky as well?
Huge. He was huge. My first year, I didn't really have like a close relationship with Fieger, but that second year, this last year, I mean, obviously I made huge strides, and I can't thank anybody but Cody Fieger for that. We spent a whole bunch of time in his office watching film and just preparing myself for games and knowing what's to come. So, I mean, I can't be more than thankful for Coach Fieger and all that he's done for me.
So how does he kind of help Pope with the offense and the system and the philosophy? How does his role factor into all that?
It's him and Jay Hart, I think, Jaxson Hart. But, I mean, their basketball minds are crazy. I mean, I've been in the office with Jay Hart, and he knows every basketball player there is. So it's cool just to see like how they think about the game and picking their minds on just little stuff. So it's been cool just to have like guys like that offensively that are around that you can learn from every day.
Jaxson, you mentioned you're tired of going against Lamont in practice. Just how good is he defensively? Because we kind of know all the accolades. What is that like going against him? And 2, how does he compare to other guys that you've played with or against defensively?
I mean, I played against them the last 2 years at BYU. That was the second game of the season. So on the scouting report, it was keep the ball away from Lamont Butler as much as you could because he's just a pest defensively.
How'd you play in that game against them?
My first game, it was okay, and then the second game, I played pretty solid. I had a good first half. But, I mean, Lamont Butler is a great defensive player and somebody you want on your team.
After the year you had last year, obviously there was some NBA draft interest. Was there a point this offseason where you were seriously considering, ending your college career and taking that next step? And what kind of led to you deciding you wanted to come back?
I mean, it was a last-minute decision. I was in Milwaukee on the day of the deadline trying to figure out what I was going to do at the airport after the workout. So, I mean, that experience was crazy. It was one of a kind. I'll never forget it. But, I mean, I'm appreciative of Coach Pope just bringing me back to a place like Kentucky, his alma mater, where we can hopefully go and win the championship. I know it mean a lot to both of us. So, like I said, I'm just excited.
What was kind of the final factor then on that last day that made you actually want to pull your name out of the draft?
Just think I can put myself in a better position this year. I think I have a lot more to offer. I'm still growing as a player, and I think that's something that is really cool about me as a player and a person is I'm just still growing. I'm still figuring it out. I got a lot more room to grow, so I'm just excited to keep chipping away and hopefully reaching my full potential.
You see, Coach has a lot of energy. Comes out, Big Blue Man is in the crowd, wants to stay young. Like, what has he done with you all to try to relate, to some of the younger guys, in the locker room?
I mean, Lamont's song is a perfect example. I don't know a lot of coaches in the country that are letting their players go out and sing their song in front of 24,000 people and dropping it on all the social media platforms. So that alone was pretty cool to me because I've never seen that. And I know it meant a lot to Lamont also.
How exciting was that? I mean, you hear your boy, when his song is going all throughout the arena.
Yeah, it was cool. And he always talks about there's no one who's ever dropped a song on an LED court and been able to perform it in front of all those fans. So he's the first to do it. This has been pretty cool.